Okay, energy infrastructure of Nevada. So here's the most basic outline of what's happening in Nevada. Basically, you're looking at a state that consumes quite a bit more than it should based off of its population, and it generates very little on its own. It imports nearly everything. It has no traditional energy sources, and so historically Las Vegas started leaning off California for its energy when it began growing, and it's been that way ever since. Nevada has been slow to look into its alternative energy options, which Shannon will explain a little bit more about.
With biomass, hydroelectric, and nuclear being eliminated as potential sources due to the scarcity of water, geothermal, wind, and solar are the three categories left, which actually Nevada holds the highest potential for geothermal energy production in the country, and it's a state whose industry in the wind is completely untapped. Along with this, they have the third highest solar index in the nation, which leaves much room for expansion in the residential and utility solar sectors.
Socio-political topics. The National Renewable Energy Laboratory wrote up an energy portfolio standard for Nevada that requires 25% of electricity sales to come from renewable energy by 2025. And back in 2014, they already hit 18.6%, so they were well on track up until a few months ago. The Nevada Public Utility Commission discontinued residential solar power buyback programs, most likely due to the fact that it was threatening the profits of natural gas companies.
Nevada's implementation plan is pretty straightforward. They have great alternative energy sources, they just need to start tapping into them. The main focus would be geothermal power production, as it's the most plentiful of all the states and has relatively low permit process. The second will be the solar industry due to the residential and utility use. However, there have been current legislation changes which make this a little bit more difficult. The wind industry is slightly less abundant, but due to the mountain ranges and it being completely untapped, there is potential within wind. In the future, we imagine Nevada could generate more than enough energy to support itself and Las Vegas, which would help reduce the dependence of other states.
Here we have some foreseeable pros and cons of developing alternative energy. Basically, it's all positive, except that initial investment will be expensive.
In conclusion, only 5 times the current amount of energy production from renewable and alternative sources are required to remove Nevada's dependence on other states' supply.